everyone's wondering, has the next Bitcoin bull run started? And we're already off to the races. You know what? There's going to be something big this Thursday. I've been telling you guys, right? The CPI number, I think that's going to affect his decision, the other governors' decisions, based on how much the rate hike should go up by the next FOMC meeting, which is February. Now, dependent on this reading, if this reading comes in very, very low, meaning inflation is rocketing downwards, right? Maybe this next rate hike will only be like a 25 basis point hike. Maybe not a 50 basis point, because the last one we had 50 basis points and that was down from 75. Maybe we just go down to 25. Maybe we don't have to see more rate hikes in the future. We'll see. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but this Thursday will be absolutely huge. So we got a couple of days until then. A lot of people were fearful this morning about what this guy, Powell, is going to say, and basically he didn't say a whole lot. I mean, this conversation is still ongoing, so maybe he says more stuff that's damning and causing the markets to go down, kind of like this. But hopefully not. Hopefully not. But so far, it's been reported that, hey, whatever they're doing seems to be working. He's talking with other central bankers around the world. He does stress that, you know, some of the stuff that he does may not be popular, especially with the politicians. But you know what? That's how it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be neutral party and do what he thinks is best for the U.S. economy, right? So far, that's what's been said. But again, there could be more things coming out later on. Gemini, they're attacking DCG, okay? Attacking specifically bearish silver, not DCG. So they wrote a letter. I covered this morning. Open letter to the board, basically demanding for some kind of, some kind of action, and basically to fire bearish silver. Basically, that's what it's coming down to. They made a lot of accusations. They speculate a lot of stuff. Whether or not it's fully true, half true, we don't know. But, of course, it's part of kind of like, I would say half try to get a resolution, half to kind of divert blame, right? Barry himself did tweet out this incredibly long thread about various things, about basically being proud of the role he had at DCG, proud of what he has accomplished in 2020. This almost sounds like a memoir. Like, basically, it sounds like what you would put out after you put in your resignation or after you leave a company. It almost sounds like that. I have fond memories of the early days. Stuff like that. This past year has been the most difficult in my life. Verbiage is like you're writing your memoirs, like reflecting on the past. But I find this interesting. This headline news. It's on the front page of CNBC. Binance is planning on hiring 15 to 30% more headcount in 2023, even though you have the likes of Coinbase slashing another 20%, Kraken 30%, Crypto.com 20%, and we're talking about slashing. Binance is the only exchange that hasn't slashed and wants to continue hiring. So according to this, their employee count is now almost up to 8,000. They went from, in 2022, which was a bad year, okay, 3,000 people in 2022, and now they're up to 8,000, and they want to add another 2,000-3,000 to the company. That shows you how well they are doing, how prepared CZ is. I did mention about Coinbase, right? Even though they're slashing their workforce, they're trying to be more efficient. Their stock rallied pretty hard yesterday, about 12% after this. And today, Cathie Wood, it was discovered that Cathie Wood bought another $1.5 million worth of coin stock yesterday. Cathie Wood keeps on buying. In fact, according to this, the firm's 11th buy in less than a month. She's been stocking up on Coinbase, also thinking Not only is this a great time to be stocking up after Coinbase is down 80%, but this could also be our local bottom, and we may be trending higher, not only for crypto, but maybe even for equities too. I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking, but she's very, very bullish on Coinbase right now. 11th buy in less than a month. Every 3 days, she's DCAing. Every 3 days. All right. Outside of that, some of you guys may have noticed, even though today everything's in the green, but Avalanche, which has been very stagnant. People have asked me, what's going on with Avalanche, right? And there wasn't a whole lot to discuss, but you know, they had a pretty good announcement today, how they have kind of partnered. I say partner lightly because AWS, like Google has done in the past, but AWS basically partnered with Avalabs. So now you can spin up nodes in AWS very easily. Avalanche nodes in this case, right? So if you want to do a test node or you want to help power the network, right? You want to run a dApp, you could easily do so on AWS. So pretty good. They're up like 20-something% today because of this. But also, they have partnered up with Shopify, you know, previously, so that people, I don't know about people, but merchants can mint and sell Avalanche NFTs through their online stores. Usually these partnerships are for Polygon, but no, they partner up with Avalanche, so that's pretty good. And International Chess Federation partnered up with Avalanche so that they could broadcast their tournaments and games on Avalanche blockchain. So there's actually a few interesting things going on. This is why I've said I like Avalanche. I don't think they have anything, you know, I don't think they have anything bad. Nothing inherently wrong. Fundamentals is great. You still have a ton of transactions, a ton of usage. You have a ton of burning, and they're still forming partnerships left and right. So all fantastic stuff. So it kind of explains today's explosion upwards, but they still have a lot more to go before they reach their previous highs. But I do think they will definitely hit it in the next bull market. Now, what else is going on today? Well, I think this is pretty big. Basically, Microsoft is going all in on ChatGPT. So if you're Google right now, you should be paying attention. Microsoft is basically buying them out. They're putting in $10 billion. $10 billion with a B, right? Even though after this funding, the company would only be worth about $29 billion. So normally with these funding rounds, you put in, you know, 10 million, 100 million, whatever, to make a company equal whatever they're evaluated at, right? But they're putting 10 billion out of the 29 billion, and they will take 75% of profits until they recoup their 10 billion, and then they would assume a 49% stake in OpenAI. Okay, so this is absolutely huge. The reason being, Microsoft has spent way more than $10 billion every single year to try to compete with Google. And they have failed for over a decade. Bing makes zero traction against Google because it's just garbage. That's just how it's been. No matter what, Microsoft could not replicate the algorithm that powers Google's search. But now they think they have an edge because ChatGPT does more than just search. Morgan Stanley also. Recently, I covered BlackRock getting involved with Bitcoin, adding it to their fund. Morgan Stanley also added Bitcoin to their European fund. Okay, so, I mean, everyone is FOMOing into Bitcoin right now. Either with Bitcoin stocks, exposure to Bitcoin with some, you know, like GBDC, right? I mean, just everyone wants a piece, and this is the right time to be getting in. Somehow, Gary Genlser decides to do a Twitter Space collaboration with the U.S. Army, okay? Kind of weird, but he did so. And he told everyone in the U.S. Army that was on a call, crypto's the Wild West, you know, 10 or 15,000 tokens were fail, right? Trying to, again, spread a lot of FUD out there. I'm sure a lot of people asked about the likes of Doge and Sheeb and maybe some other meme coins or maybe just some coins in general. But of course, you have Gary trying to ruin it by scaring the bejesus out of people, right? And that's what he wants. He wants to cause confusion, cause fear, right? And then he can just ride in on his high horse and save everyone because he is the ultimate regulator, right? But that's not the case. And the CFTC disagrees with that, and I think a lot of people in general disagrees with that. They don't want the SEC to take control of everything, right? But we need people to stand up to them. Like Ripple, for example. Ripple is standing up to the SEC, and we need more pride. What else is there? Well, the U.S. House passes a bill to cut funding for 87,000 new IRS agents. I think everyone is cheering for this because, you know, there was talks about, of course, hiring 87,000 new IRS agents. It would cost us, the taxpayers, $80 billion, which of course is not going to help, not really going to help with inflation when, you know, when there's 80 more billion that needs to be printed and eventually, you know, we have to pay the taxes on it. And plus, you know, this whole notion about how all the 87,000 new agents will only target the super rich. You know that's not true. You know that's not true. They're targeting everyone, right? So now the House is trying to repeal this after a new speaker was elected, right? They're trying to get rid of at least $71 billion out of the $80 billion that's going towards this, right? So I think this is a win. I don't think anyone thought that this was a good idea, but there you go. There you go.